So I was going to teach my lesson for this class over digital footprint because I felt like it was important for kids to understand what that is and how that can impact their future. Because for me, I did not get that opportunity to learn about that as a fifth grader. They literally handed me an iPad one day and said, "Here you go. You just use it." Didn't give me instructions or what was the expectations out of it. Just said, "Here you go." And that left me very confused. And so when I was thinking of lessons I could do, I thought that this one would be perfect because I feel like it's now more important than ever just to teach students what a digital footprint is and how that really does impact you significantly. So the objectives I had for the lesson were that students will be able to define the term digital footprint and how online activities contribute to it. Students will identify how they are or not in control of their digital footprints, and that students will understand what responsibilities they have for their individual footprint and others. So we're going to start off the lesson looking at animal footprints, actually, as like analogies. Um, so I would say, like, what do you notice about this photo? You know, what kind of animal is it? And maybe like, what are they trying to do? And they would say, oh, that's a bear, that's a bird, or maybe they're trying to get food, or maybe just trying to find a safe place to go for the night, something like that out of it. We would just bounce answers back and forth, of what we thought was going on in those photos. And then I would say, well, those animal footprints, when you see them out in nature, there's a trail that goes along with them, right? You can see how long the trail is, what direction they're going. And I said that's kind of the same thing when we think about us and how we use the internet. It leaves a trail, or as I say, a trace of what we do, what we comment, what we post, all that stuff. And so then I would define digital footprint. And I said, well, my definition of digital footprint was one's unique set of digital activities, actions, and communications that leave a digital trace on the internet or on a computer or other digital device, like an iPad or an iPhone, and can identify the particular user or device. And some examples I used were pictures and comments, because those are two of the ones that make sense a lot. And so I gave them the example of how you can really identify somebody who uses that or identify who the user is and what their device is. I said it's a lot easier these days just to track that alone. I said I have Apple products, so it's literally labeled as Caitlin's iPhone, Caitlin's MacBook, so, and those two are linked together because I did opt in to link them together. And so I said, whenever I pull up my Safari page, it says my internet search is on iPhone if I'm on my MacBook, or vice versa. For when I'm on my iPhone, search is on my MacBook, And then I had the kids watch a video from Common Sense Education that went into a little bit deeper detail of what digital footprints are and what our responsibilities are for that, and how to just be careful with what kind of footprint we leave on the internet. And that's with anything, even around us. So yeah. And then after the video, they would make a table with one side being responsibilities for yourself with your digital footprint and responsibilities for others. So pictures, comments, search history are just the three basic things that come at the top of your head for that. And just they would talk about that and why it's a responsibility or why it's other people's responsibilities, like your friends, your family members, and all that. One thing I did bring up is, as an example, like say a friend posts something about you on your social media page, and it was this ridiculous photo that you both laughed at, but they just posted it and said, yeah, look at my friend, ha ha ha. And you look at it and you're like, I wish they did not post it on the internet, because, and here's one reason, is if they post something ridiculous of you, it does trace back to you with all this new technology coming out, it can recognize your face just like that. So I said it's important to always ask people if it's okay if you can post a photo of them. I said, even though it may be your phone and you took the photo, I said, it's just important to respect people's boundaries. And if they say no, you just say no and move on and don't go against their wishes. So yeah, I would make sure just to say like, yeah, just remember like consent is also important when posting something with friends or family members, all that stuff. And then finally, I would just have them do a quick quiz that went over everything and just check their understanding of if they know what a digital footprint is. And my last question on there was, how confident do you feel about what a digital footprint is? 1 being not very confident and 5 being like very, very confident. And my main takeaway from this was I hoped that kids would get something out of it, because with your digital footprint, it can be a make or break for a job, because most times employers are looking at the things you post, your social media pages, even what you like. It's just what it boils down to in the end. That's a make or break a lot of times for employers. So I hope 5-10 years down the road, they can dive in a little more about what a digital footprint is and how very important it is. So my reflection about this, I thought the good thing about doing this was I thought at least I like that I got to think about what I wanted to teach the kids, because when I first sat down and thought about this, I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. And then I was like, I can do this because it's something that's important and needs to be taught, like probably at least once a year. So you can just reinforce like, hey, this is good internet behavior. You know, this is how it impacts you for the rest of your life. And then areas of improvement. I wish if life did not get in my way with everything that's been going on, I would have loved to teach this lesson in person, but I have stuff going on in my life that I scheduled, and I just couldn't hold off on it any longer. And that's just one of the things I wish I did. And then the assessment, I can't say I got the chance to do an assessment on it, but I would say with that, I hope it aligned with what I taught and that they got something out of it, and that they at least understood something out of it. They may not have gotten the whole picture, but they may have gotten maybe just that little piece about consent, or just a little bit about what you post and what you say is important. So yeah, I really wish I got to teach this lesson, but I hope one day as a teacher I get to teach this. So yeah,